Hi, Jussie and
Better walk up here and take your moment.
How you doing? Push through. Push through, baby.
Have to.
Push through.
Have to.
Yes.
Opportunity.
Baby Oprah.
Opportunity.
In red.
Yes.
So my question is for both of you. Congratulations on season 4. I am so excited to watch the launch. In all of Empire's glitz, glamour, and decadence, I find it interestingly that you still manage to confront such topical issues such as women's incarceration, social injustice, and just family dysfunction. You kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but how do you find that balance of entertainment without trivializing or making light of such heavy issues? And Jussie, you have such a lively...
First of all, I love that question. That was a joke question. Like, that was great. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You have such a lively and electric personality. How do you manage to get into character with such heavy narratives?
Why don't you answer first?
I'm lively sometimes, but I'm actually just really emotional. So whatever emotion I'm feeling at that time, I feel it all the way. I'm a Cancer. That's right, boo. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. My sister over there with the fro. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So when it... I'm sorry.
We're live, Jussie. We're live.
I get in so much trouble because right now I just want to kneel for Cape and Nick. Kneel for calling.
Take the knee. Take the knee.
I'm sorry. I get in so much trouble. No, but how do I get to that place? It's I have a lot of feelings. I really, really do, and I feel very, very deeply.
Yeah.
And
It shows.
you know, so it's not. I like going to that place because I have to check myself sometimes to not go there in real life. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I have to check myself to be like, just pull back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't, because I see what happens in the world. I see, you know, anything, and I can literally like, I'm very strong, I'm very powerful, I'm very passionate about it, but I also can cry about it at the drop of a dime because it's so painful to me to watch. But with that said, Jamal gives me the opportunity to be as emotional as I want. And those scenes I actually really, really enjoy.
My favorite moment with him, I've told him this, is a moment that I directed. He was when in 201, the second episode, the second season, in the first episode of the second season, when Cookie slaps him, and Cookie slaps him at the doorway. And, I mean, that's Cookie's favorite right here, you know? And she slaps him, and she, you know, we already know that she's hitting her kids with brooms and shit. You know, that's the kind of mother she is, you know? And he stands stoically, and he says, "Are you done?" And she slaps him again, and he says, "Are you done?" And he starts to well up, which makes her well up. And then you see this tear coming down her face as he's closing the door stoically. And then you see him turn, and then you see him cry as he's walking away. To me, that's great acting, and that's why I'm in this business, to see these two great artists do their thing. So, and that's the reason why I'm doing this show. I get emotional thinking about it. It was so exquisitely, it's like I don't know, it's like an opera. But what was your question to me?
How do you find the balance of entertainment without trivializing the current
Well, that's the
issues
brilliance
you
of
talk about?
the show.
Yeah.
If you think about Dynasty,
Yeah.
if you think about Dynasty and what they were doing, is what I wanted to repeat. We talk about controversial issues in the midst of music, in the midst of fashion, in the mix of comedy. So it's a really fine line that we're going back and forth from. Are we supposed to take this shit serious? Right. What is this? What is this? What is this world that we're in? But guess what? We're going to escape. I'm going to have you escaping from thinking about Trump for a couple minutes, that's for sure. You're welcome.
Here, can I just say this too? One thing is that we are a show that is rooted in pop culture. We would be frauds if we didn't deal with things that are actually happening in the world right now. So when we say on the show and we're dealing with police brutality or mass incarceration, the separation of families, when we're dealing with that, if we didn't deal with that, number one, we wouldn't be a Lee Daniels project. Right. Number two, we would be frauds. Like, how can we just glisten over everything as if nothing's really happening? And we a show full of black folks, too. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that anybody should glisten over it. I don't care what show it is. You shouldn't glisten over it. You have a responsibility. But at the same time, we would be frauds if we didn't.
And as we tell the story, as we tell these stories, we tell it, it's again, a very fine line. We tell it through music. We tell it through fashion. We tell it through comedy, where you find yourself laughing, but why am I laughing at this? You know? And that's the way I sort of tell my stories.
Very good. I love that it's layered that way.
Thank you.
Thank you.